on to probably a more interesting title.
Maybe.
We don't have much to say about it.
Yeah.
It
has dungeons.
It's a game.
Yeah. That's cool.
Alright.
The
original Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
In my opinion, I would put this at number 2 right now.
Right now, it fits at number 2. Obviously, it's superior to Four Swords Adventures.
Really?
Let's see. We have so far, we have Link to the Past, Wind Waker, Twilight, Hourglass, and Four Swords Adventures. So yeah, number 2, I agree.
Yeah.
Why not number 1 though? Is because with Link to the Past, there are.
It's a better version of the original.
I just feel like I don't think number 1 is that bad though. I
think number 1 did fantastic.
I feel like in a way it is also a flawless game as long as you know, like if you know ahead of time, every screen has a secret. You have to kind of think for yourself a lot. I
think it's kind of weird, not weird, but like interesting that they added a second quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's like a total another game, let alone this is a cartridge that was like one of the first ones to have a battery.
It was already ahead of its time with the design. It was already ahead of its time with the design. And then like to have a whole nother game.
Even the battery itself is like, oh my god, now I can save?
Yeah,
this is weird.
But even now, it's still really fun to play because of how challenging it is. Even, when you know the secrets and stuff, doesn't mean you're going to just walk through it like some of the other Zelda games without dying. It's
definitely
that one's hard.
Recently, it's interesting that Nintendo came out with like the superpower, like you just start off with a bunch of stuff. That one's interesting. Maybe if you wanted to have someone taste what it was like, what the game is like without being overwhelmed, I could see that. But definitely for us who enjoy a challenge, the OG original is just so good. It's just such a good game.
And this is kind of nitpicking. I wouldn't say that it's flawless because it
has
some,
say would be bad.
There are some clues that are
stupid.
Not obvious.
Well, like what?
Well,
the East West Peninsula was just kind of a translation error, but it's not like with that it doesn't mean anything. And
it's nitpicking, but it's there.
The clues are a bit vague, yes, but like you have to understand that at the time
there was no internet, and you can't just look it up.
Yeah, me and Mona wanted you to play with other people.
Yeah, I know.
It was definitely
then talk about it with other friends, and then get to the next thing.
So
since we have the internet now, it's kind of like but
so if you were playing it by yourself
with no internet, no guide,
no other friends, and it's your first time, it would definitely be hard.
Insane.
It would be insane. But I feel like you could get through it though. I feel like you could get through it.
You could. You just have to really think outside the box sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's good in that way. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Alright. I don't know.
No, it's my turn.
Okay.
Sorry. Hey!
Triforce Heroes. I think this fits.
I
think it would be
5.
I wouldn't say it's better than Phantom Hourglass. I know you two are gonna say it is.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Is.
I already know you two are gonna say it is. And I'm not gonna be able to convince you two.
You're never gonna convince me, man.
Some people are gonna find this to be it.
It is a bit weird. It's definitely it's a game that is better with friends.
Yeah,
not everyone has access to that. Like me when I first played, I didn't have access to you guys playing it with me, but
so like a lot of games are better with friends, and that's what carries this. But I think as a game, Phantom Hourglass would still place above. It has dungeons, it has progression, it has collectibles, which I guess Triforce Heroes does have the suits, but I would still prefer, upgrading your sword or your shield. Or
but I prefer
developing a gear set. as you travel through the the game.
Like to play multiplayer games. I like to be with other people and goof off a little bit. And it's just fun as a different aspect. Even though Zelda games have played with other people, it's just fun to play with other people.
I would also say that Triforce Heroes of the Zelda games kind of like, in a lot of ways, breaks the mold and stays with the mold in certain aspects, where it's like you have suits, you have this pillar gimmick, you have kind of like different. I mean, they stole from Four Swords kind of a format too for the different levels, which makes sense for the multiplayer. But like, I feel like the weird fashion. You're not even in Hyrule. You're in some fashion town. Yeah. It's like it's a bit weird. It's a bit different, and that's definitely enjoyable.
I guess for me, I'd still just put Phantom Hourglass ahead of it because it actually feels like an adventure, a continuous adventure.
But at least it's not like slowing you down from playing, whereas all
to me
Triforce Heroes is just you playing the dungeons and playing kind of just being in the dungeons of a Zelda game with your friends, and then outside, when you're outside, you're kind of collecting stuff and you're enjoying kind of collecting suits, such as the Fierce Deity suit, which would be fun. Is crazy, there's some reference to other games. Even there's a reference to Phantom Hourglass with the Steinbeck outfit.
Right.
I feel like it's definitely enjoyable. There's a reference to Link to the Past. It's definitely
it is kind of a love letter a little bit. It has some references, but I guess for me it still felt like kind of a checklist. Kind of like Four Swords Adventures.
A little bit, but at least it was more enjoyable.
It was more enjoyable than Four Swords.
Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what I have picked, for some reason, it's not my turn, right?
It is your turn.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then that means Fate. Fate has chosen that. Fate has chosen Zelda 2.
Number 3.
Ooh.
I would put it at number 3.
I would put it at number 3 as well. It's not better than the original.
Yeah.
But I will say, I love the game so much. It has a lot of potential there. I wish, they had made some changes, or at least done a sequel to it in a way, fixing those problems. There are a lot of problems, but I love the things that are right with the game.
I know this is like one of your favorite games, and I still like the other first two better. This one's just hard for me, and I just feel like it's like,
a lot of people are gonna think, what the hell is Zelda 2 better than Wind Waker, better than Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Some of the more iconic.
But I understand because it's so hard, and that's what some people like a lot, is to be challenged.
Yeah, it definitely was a challenge.
And then some people
where do I go now?
But I feel like that's actually not that bad of a problem recently. It's kind of pointed out that the game is very segmented. Mm-hmm. Like, when you start off, there's only really one place you can go. Like, where to go with Parapola Palace. And then, the areas where are big maps with where do we go from here. You just have to look around, thinking of how NES games were made to last a long time by silly mechanics like that, where you're basically wasting time just because you're not going to have another game to play for a while, just because back in the day things were meant to last.
Yeah, I definitely think it's superior to all the games that we have below it. Just more engaging, more fast-paced, adventurous. The music
is so amazing. I didn't know it was in Smash Bros. Until recently.
I never got tired of listening to any of the music. I just sat down and played it out. It was the game I beat after Four Swords Adventures. And, I just... always look forward to playing it. And can't wait to play it again for our scoring series.
I want to play it again so badly. Yeah. Nick, if you get Majora's Mask, I'll be so happy. Or if I do too. Not happy though.
Yeah.
Alright.
Where are we?
Oracle of Seasons.
I need to replay it.
Alright. So it's kind of a what would you say?
Good game.
It borrows a lot from the first game because it was initially gonna be kind of like a remake of the first game, but then they added the season switching, and I mean a lot more items and a lot more bonus content. Just a very the story isn't memorable or anything, but it's just a solid Zelda adventure, dungeon crawling, basically like the first game, except with the season mechanics, so it makes you think more about the overworld. They don't really bring that into solving the dungeons like Ages does with time, but it does create probably one of the most interactive overworlds.
I'd say Season's definitely overworld, and I believe action-oriented versus Ages is definitely more dungeon and puzzle-based.
Right. So this game has, a lot of fun fights with enemies and bosses and good items, good solid items. Now, Nick would put it behind Wind Waker.
I'll put it
I think it belongs above of it. It just all the dungeons, I think, even though it borrows from the first one, that's fine. It's better than all the dungeons from Wind Waker, in my opinion. It just they feel.
It's definitely it's
not as atmospheric, obviously, as Wind Waker, but sometimes it's kind of an illusion, in my opinion, to what makes some Zelda dungeons might seem good, but when you go back and replay them, sometimes they're not as fun, and it was just the atmosphere that makes you feel great about the dungeons, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, then number
where are we?
4 then will be Seasons for now.
So where are we at? We have Link to the Past, Zelda 2, Seasons, Wind Waker, Twilight, Triforce, Phantom, and Adventures. Boop. There we go.
That's my turn.
Alright, Spirit Tracks. So the other DS game, another one that you guys are just gonna throw towards the bottom there.
Yep. Second to bottom, maybe.
But the music in this one is awesome.
The dungeon music is all the same.
I'm just talking about like the overworld and locations. Alright, whatever. We're not going to be able to talk much about this one until we all play through the entire series.
Through all of it.
But I will say that Phantom Hourglass is probably better than Spirit Tracks. Just, I don't know, the originality of it kind of carries it there, so I'll just slip that there.
Thanks, Nick. Do you want to be in charge of this?
Yeah.
Bad. I'm a bad boy. Alright, let's see. I want Majora. Or Nick can have Majoras. Okay.
I'll see why.
Last one. Here we go.